How is my baby doing? Can't wait to grab that waist. What did you make?
I made your favorite.
You're the best. See you soon.
See you.
Williams entered Judy's life. Like a man searching for peace he claimed his wife could no longer give him. He presented himself as a man who had been emotionally abandoned, trapped in a marriage that had become a prison.
My sugar pie, I have no peace in my own home. My wife is frustrating me.
To anyone listening from the outside, he did not sound like a cheating husband. He sounded like a man crying for help.
Just come by the house tomorrow and I will take good care of you.
Judy believed him. He called her every morning and every night. He gave her constant attention. He bought her gifts. He told her she was his peace, his safe place, the only woman who truly understood him. He knew exactly how to speak gently when he wanted sympathy. Little by little, he made her feel special. He made her feel chosen. He made her feel like she was not destroying a home, but rescuing a man from one. And Judy, blinded by love, began to believe she was the answer to his pain.
I love him so much. I can't wait to give him the love his wife could not give him.
But while Williams was painting himself as a victim, Mary was still carrying the full weight of being his wife. Mary, building her life around him, gave him children, helped and still helping in keeping their home together. She had done the kind of work many wives do without applause: caring, adjusting, sacrificing, enduring, stretching herself between family responsibilities and the silent demands of marriage. While Williams was outside enjoying the comfort of another woman, Mary was inside the house trying to understand where she had gone wrong and why her husband is gradually slipping out of her hands.
Why the secret phone calls? Why the late nights?
It's just work, I promise. Nothing to worry about.
You hardly eat at home these days.
I'll make it up to you. I will.
And when
I
Mary
hope so.
finally discovered there was another woman, the confrontation broke something deep in her.
Oh, my heart is broken. Oh, God.
It was not only the betrayal that wounded her. It was the insult of realizing that while she was still fighting to preserve her family, Williams was outside presenting himself as a man who had already been abandoned and neglected. Mary thought about all the sacrifices she had made, the years she had stood beside him, the children they had raised together, and the burdens she had carried in private. Yet he had reduced their whole marriage to a sad story that made him look innocent and made her look like the villain. Judy, on the other hand, kept believing she was stepping into her own love story. Williams made everything look like destiny. He behaved like a man who had finally found the woman meant for him after years of suffering with the wrong one. He gave the relationship enough sweetness to silence Judy's doubts. He made promises with confidence. He acted like a man who had been denied happiness for too long. And because he was so consistent with his affection, Judy saw no reason to question him. Then Williams finally left his wife for Judy. Williams leaving his wife for her felt like proof of love. To her, it meant she had been chosen, and their waiting was over. She believed that if a man could leave one life for another, then surely the new life must be extraordinary. That belief followed her all the way to the altar.
You look so beautiful.
They got married the following year.
You look so
At the altar, Judy looked at him with hope and said,
Now I will love you the way you should be loved.
And I you,
but the
my love.
sweetness lasted barely 2 months. Then everything changed. The same man who had once sounded tender and loving suddenly became cold. It was as if the version of himself he had carefully presented before marriage expired the moment they got married. His warmth disappeared. His patience disappeared. His tenderness turned into irritation. Judy, the woman he had once called his peace and safe place, started meeting a stranger inside her own home. What made it worse was what happened when Mary, his first wife, remarried and began to look happy again, thriving like never before. Instead of moving on peacefully, Williams grew darker. He became angrier. It was as though Mary's healing offended him. Seeing her rebuild her life and do even better than before stirred something bitter in him. He could not bear the thought that the woman he left behind had found a way to stand again and stand stronger. That was when Williams began blaming Judy for everything. He blamed her for his failed marriage. Williams became frustrated when his business stopped growing and was going down. Money was tight. But instead of standing with Judy through the hardship, he turned against her. If a client failed to respond, he blamed her. If money was short, he blamed her. Anything that went or goes wrong in his life is her fault. He criticized the way she talked, the way she cooked, the way she moved, and her entire existence. Nothing she did was right. As the marriage became more toxic, Judy quietly started seeking opportunities outside the country, desperate to move far away from him and start over. But before she could leave, Williams became even more abusive. Sometimes he shouted over the smallest things. Sometimes, in full anger, he beat her with his belt. The man who had once approached her with gentleness now used force to control and humiliate her. The same mouth that had once poured comfort into her ears
I'm with you.
now became a source of constant insult, blame, and assault.
What do you want me to do? It's my
Judy
job.
found herself trapped inside the very marriage she once thought was her reward. Her loneliness grew quietly. In private moments, she cried.
This is not the life I wished for myself.
She thought about everything she had left behind and sacrificed to make him happy. She thought about the job she had abandoned for him. She thought about the life she gave up. She thought about how the man she had fought her parent for now acts as if she had ruined his life. And on top of all that, she was now facing domestic violence in her own home. Then one day, the opportunity she had been waiting for finally came. The moment she got a job offer abroad, Judy left him and the marriage without looking back. And eventually, life humbled Williams. He began thinking constantly about Mary, his first wife, and how foolishly he had neglected and insulted her love, loyalty, and sacrifice. He started remembering the home he destroyed with his own hands. He began to realize too late that peace is not always found in the woman who flatters you, but often in the one who stood by you when life was not easy. In the end, he went looking for Mary. And in one final desperate move, he found his first wife and begged for
I
forgiveness.
regret my actions. I regret how I treated you and the kids. I miss my family and I'm sorry.
Perhaps he believed the mother of his children would remember old love and ignore old wounds. Perhaps he was still so full of himself that he thought she would leave her current husband for him. But the Mary he met was no longer the same soft and simple woman he left behind. Pain had taught her strength. Betrayal had taught her boundaries. She did not welcome him with tears. She did not reward his regret with reunion. Instead, she walked away from him as though he no longer mattered. And when he tried to come through the children, hoping their love would rescue him, he got the shock of his life. His own children rejected him. That was the moment the full weight of his choices finally stood before him. He had destroyed one home to build another, and also discovered that not every door remains open simply because a man has finally realized his mistakes. In the end, all three lives carried scars from the same story. Mary, the first wife, carried the pain of betrayal, but also the dignity of rebuilding. Judy, the second wife, carried the bitter lesson of trusting a man she knew was married, and without proper investigation, she believed every word that came out of his mouth. And Williams, the man at the center of it all, carried the kind of regret that comes too late. The regret of a man who allowed lust and selfish desire to cost him
Look at the
his
stars
wife
coming
and
out.
kids.
This is a true life story edited and retold by Watch Out TV. Share with your friends, like, comment, and follow for more life lessons.